everybody, I'm Beebs Kelley. Welcome back to another fashion edition. If you missed my first Oscars video, we ranked 10 random looks. We played our ranking game. I'll link it for you here. Today, I want to talk about some of the best and some of the worst from the Oscars. I was really disappointed because look at what they did to Zoe Saldana. She is so stunning, so beautiful. She's wearing Saint Laurent. What happened? This is tragic. This is terrible. This looks like a fashion student project or even a child's project where you take a huge sheet and then you just tie it a few times. That's what this looks like. It looks horrible. It's not flattering in any way, shape, or form. It's not flattering in any sense of the word. It's not complimenting her figure at all. Her hair looks flat. Who did this to her? They should be fired. This was horrible. I never thought I would put Zoe Saldana on a worst dressed list, but here we are. Oh, it's terrible. But it's not all bad. Today we have some of the best looks and some of the more middling looks like this one, Connie Nielsen. I'm not sure who she is. I like the splash of turquoise in her jewelry compared to this soft pink, dreamy, flowy dress. It's Elisabeth Haute Couture. It's a beautiful construction, but it doesn't fit her bust line properly. It looks like it's falling down, and that's unfortunate. We can't have that. Get the bust right, everybody. Raffi Cassidy is wearing Loewe, and this is quite nice, except, as you can see along this seam, it's puckering. It's not good. She needed a better undergarment as well, because we're catching some lines and some disruptions to the finish due to a lack of a good enough smoothing undergarment here. But I quite like the silhouette of this. I think it's a nice dress and a beautiful draping across the top here. The asymmetry of it at all is beautiful. But the seams and the lack of a good undergarment are ruining things for us. Tanya Lapointe wearing Rodarte is just okay. This collar is disconnected from the front, at least. It looks completely disconnected. Therefore, it looks like she just slapped a doily around her neck. It doesn't work. The dress itself is perfection. Look at this sequin column gown is beautiful. The straight across neckline prevents it from looking like it's falling down. But what's going on with that collar? It needs to be incorporated somehow and tied in somehow. Mindy Kaling wearing Oscar de la Renta. Again, just kind of blah. This looks a little bit messy to me. It looks ill-fitting around this area. It's kind of eating up her neckline. She's a little bit shorter, if I'm not mistaken. So having something totally erase your neck is risky. She should have gone with an updo that was like up to enhance her vertical line up out of this dress. I'm not loving it. It looks mainly messy. Brandi Carlile, I don't know what's happening here. It looks a little too costumey, clownish. I don't know what's going on. It's not quite working for the Oscars. I don't love it. It's Valentino. It shouldn't be so bad. Yasmin Finney is wearing something far too editorial for the Oscars red carpet. These feathers popping up here, it should have stayed somewhere like the Grammys where costumey looks are acceptable. I don't think this was acceptable for the Oscars. If it weren't for the black grass sticking up off the top of this dress, it would have been okay. I like the opera gloves. The fit of it is perfect. Her hair and makeup look amazing. This is Harris Reed. It shouldn't be this tragic. In Chanel Haute Couture, we have Fernanda Torres wearing this mess. It looks so messy. There's far too many textures. At least it's monochrome. It's all in black, but it's just too many textures. It's too much. I hate it. It looks so messy. Charlotte Lawrence also kind of confuses me. I feel like if it weren't for this like gold trim above the ruffles, it would have been a lot more successful. It just veered into messy. It also reminds me of those dressing gowns that are so fabulous but just don't belong on the red carpet. Rachel Sennett, it's just okay. It looks like it's falling down a tad, but it's all right. It's see-through and we don't love that. But I like the pink color and the simple silhouette is okay. It's Balenciaga though, so we don't like that. Shame on them. Coco Jones, one of the best of the night. This is beautiful. It's stunning. It looks magnificent. It's a little bit messy around where the straps are, but other than that, it's really, really beautiful. I don't love Emily Mortimer's dress. Where the satin begins, right here, kind of higher up on her waistline and her torso, is drawing the eye right to the lower abdomen, which is not the most flattering spot. So this unfortunately didn't quite work. This would have been a lot more successful with an updo as well because of the textured, ruffly halter neck. detail, it's creating a lot of visual noise there. If she would have had an updo, it would have elongated her up out of it and enhanced her vertical line. It would have been a lot more successful. This is Rhode Arte. Emily Livingston and Jeff Goldblum look fabulous. I love everything Jeff Goldblum wears, and she looks beautiful as well. Storm Reed went for the drama, but instead got messy. Here's the beginning of the worst dressed list. You guys, this is like Red Riding Hood, forgot irons were a thing. This is horrible. It's so messy and so intense, but I do love her hair and makeup for this. It's gorgeous. It's just too much, and the proportions of it are just too off. Then we have Alba Rohrwacher. I hope I say that right. It looks like, vintage, which is cool. I really like the cuffs. I don't mind the tiers of the skirt, but all together, an entire package, this is too messy, and the hair down is bringing it all down. It's crowding. It looks like it doesn't go together. She needed an updo. She should have just leaned into the vintage vibe all the way. This didn't work. This is Valentino Haute Couture. Lena Situations? Is that how you pronounce her last name? I don't know. I'm sorry. Lena's dress is just okay. I really like the bodice, but there's not enough tying it into the skirt. It doesn't vibe. This would have been more successful with a different shade of skirt, in my opinion. This nude just almost looks unfinished compared to this sculpted bodice. Emily Cassie is trying Atelier Pabal Garung, the red version of the gold one that Nikki Glaser wore to the Golden Globes. Yes, Nikki Glaser. This is like the red version of what Nikki Glaser wore. And for both these ladies, it didn't fit the bust line properly. If it would have fit the bust line properly, we wouldn't have had this problem. Also, she would have benefited from a necklace to break up the vacant space up here. Kensington Tallman's train is far too wrinkly, but otherwise it's fine. And Joan Chen's dress doesn't look like it fits her bust properly in the slightest, but the color is bold. It's Elie Saab. It's quite pretty. I like it. Raya Abirrashed, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. I think it's a pretty dress, but the squiggly neckline just made her bust look weird and ill-fitting. So that was a bit of a fail. Maria Taylor's dress, on the other hand, is nice and simple and clean and beautiful. It's Tom Ford, so naturally it's going to be pretty close to perfect. I also really like Zuri Hall's. The sculptural element across the hip area, it's asymmetrical, and it balances out her shoulder line really nicely. And of course, we don't have the look that it's falling down because of the way this neckline is done. It's possible to wear a strapless gown without it looking like it's falling down. Let's do that, please, more often. Now let's get into the real worst of the night. We have Amelia de Moldenberg. She's great. But this dress is terrible for her. Look how low it's sitting on her chest. We have so much space between her neck, her collarbone area, and the neckline of this dress. It's massive. That just doesn't look right. It's so awkward. And then it's widening her waistline on top of it, and it just looks ill-fitting around the bust. If this had come up in a normal sweetheart fashion and not looked like it was falling down, it might have had potential. Emma Stone made mistakes. I like her hairstyle for this. I think it's fine. But this dress just looks so vacant and bare and plain across the top and almost unfinished across the neckline. It's erasing her bust line completely. And it's just too blah. It's too plain. It's too rectangular. It's not giving her anything. It's not balancing her in any way. It just wasn't a good match, unfortunately. And then we have Penelope Cruz. This is something that Meghan Markle struggles with sometimes, but for different reasons. Meghan Markle and Penelope Cruz can both lean top-heavy at times. Penelope, it's because she's very busty, and she's more of an apple shape. She doesn't have a very well-defined waist. Meghan, it's because her widest point is her shoulder line, and she doesn't have a very well-defined waist. Both these ladies have a slightly shorter torso, so their arms can look a little bit long and lanky at times, and both can lean into that top-heavy effect by accident, lacking that well-defined waist as well as the primary style concerns. So there are differences, but there are similarities here. Having these embellishments straight up and down the center, these buttons, I imagine they are, is only drawing the eye to that center point across her torso, which is then creating this widening effect to her torso. It's just drawing the eye to the lack of well-defined waist. The ruffles on the hip also catch the eye, but then there's not enough volume underneath to create balance. If those ruffles had a big skirt underneath, like a decent A-line, a flare to the skirt, and there was a lot more fabric in the skirt, it would have balanced her fine and combated that vertical line across her torso that was creating the widening. It would have added balance, but it's not. Instead, it's just leaning into that inverted triangle shape because the skirt gets more and more narrow as it goes down. So this was a fail purely because it didn't vibe with her body type well at all. She looks beautiful. Her hair and makeup are stunning. This did her silhouette a huge disservice. It was tragic. Fire the stylist. Whoopi Goldberg, what is happening? This is a shiny mess. In person, this probably looks so beautiful. This fabric is amazing. It might be liquid organza. It's stunning. But on camera, it is insane. It is so overstimulating. This widened her unfairly. This looks just too busy, too intense. It's just far too intense. It really, really is. Ugh, not good. Everybody who wore Balenciaga belongs on the worst dress list because it's Balenciaga. We don't do that. Coco Gauff in Miu Miu. This is a gorgeous yellow dress, but unfortunately it is another instance where it didn't match her silhouette and her body type properly to balance out her silhouette nicely to make a nice, beautiful effect with the dress. It also looks to not fit her bust line properly. And it just looks a little simple for the Oscars red carpet. It looks almost a little prom-esque. Because her widest point is her shoulder line, she needed something that had more flare to the skirt or more fabric in the skirt to balance it out. But the fit of it looks okay other than the bust line. It looks like it fits her fine. It just would have been more beautiful on her and for her body type if it had more fabric and flare to the skirt. And finally, one of the worst dressed, Rachel Zegler in Dior, which is sad because you know I love Dior, but this is tragic. Look how it looks like it's falling down. It looks like it's literally slipped down, like she accidentally stepped on it and it went whoop. That's how this looks. It's ridiculous. It also is leaning into that sort of drop waist effect that's coming into the trends for the year, which is fine, but if it also looks like it's falling down, then it just looks unintentional and out of place. This needed to be up a few inches higher on the bust line for the bodice, and the whole thing would have been fine. But this looks so messy and sloppy, like she doesn't know how to wear it, like it doesn't fit her. I don't know. It just looks like garbage, an otherwise pretty dress. Her hair and makeup are stunning, though, and the jewelry was a nice choice. But let's cleanse the palette with some of the best dressed of the night. We have Bruno Marquezine? Marquezine? I'm not sure how to say her last name. Bruna looks beautiful, stunning. This is gorgeous. We have Yvonne Orji wearing Pamela Roland. This is gorgeous. This is beautiful. These are not easy to wear. These sparkly, reflective, shiny sorts of metallic dresses are challenging to wear. But this, she pulled off perfectly. It's gorgeous, stunning, love it. Dave Bautista looks amazing, perfect suit. Marlee Maitland, really, really beautiful. As you can see, the neckline of this, adding sleeves, prevents it from looking like it's falling down. Even though she looks like she's popping out of it just a tad, it doesn't look like it's falling down. It looks all intentional thanks to the sleeve. This is a very beautiful option for her. Elle Fanning, far and away, one of the absolute best of the night. This is gorgeous. This is Givenchy Haute Couture. Classic, beautiful, timeless. Nothing wrong with that. She could have worn some black opera gloves to tie in the black sash, or even a black bow in the hair would have been really beautiful to complete the look. But this fits her perfectly, and it's beautiful and flattering to her body type. It hits her at the exact right spot for her waistline. She doesn't have the most well-defined waist, but this gives the illusion that she does, thanks to the high contrast belted sash, the elongation of her silhouette with those vertical lines, and just everything fitting perfectly, and the A-line flare to the skirt. It created a waistline for her, a perfect example of that technique. Beautifully done. Anouk is wearing Marni, and this is stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a little bit messy around the seams, as you can see. It's hardly hanging in there with those seams getting a little bit puckery, but she is carrying it really beautifully. I love the feather boa. This is a gorgeous look, very dramatic, and as well done as you could really ask for to walk a red carpet in a dress like that. Those are very hard to walk in, those mermaid styles that cinch in really tight around the knees. So she's doing a great job. Supermodel, naturally. Ray, my personal favorite of the night. This gorgeous romantic red gown is stunning. The draping is flattering to her figure. It creates an illusion of a more well-defined waist. It's balancing. All of these draped lines just create movement that's beautiful and romantic and feminine. The necklace is the perfect choice here, and this is what I'm talking about with the off-the-shoulder straps like Selena Gomez had that were cutting into her shoulder, in comparison to this, where there's a softer drape. You can't see if it's cutting into her shoulder line, you can't see that because of the soft drape. So this looks intentional, while Selena's looked like it was too tight to get up all the way. So big difference there. This is success. Absolutely stunning. We also have Ava DuVernay. Very beautiful. This is a great example of structure on an hourglass body type working nicely. As you can see, she's hourglass or maybe leans a little bit pear, maybe a bottom heavy hourglass. And this structure leans almost too much. It runs the risk of being too much. But she kept her hair and makeup nice and clean, sleek and pulled back. She didn't add any other noise or weight around here. So it just creates this beautiful effect where the eye is actually drawn to the waistline because the structured shoulder element almost directs the eye straight to her waistline, which looks very well defined here, especially in comparison to that structured shoulder and her hip line. So this was a very beautiful construction and very well done. As you can see, she's wearing the proper smoothing undergarments because there is not a seam or line or bulge in sight. Perfectly well done. Perfect execution there. Halle Berry is also looking amazing. Perfect choice for hair and makeup on this. This reflective silver dress, as I just said, very challenging to pull off. The way this one looks like a crop top with a midi skirt is just enhancing her figure, making her waist look even more well defined under there. Beautiful. Beautifully done. My absolute favorite is probably Ray for the evening, or Halle Berry, both gorgeous, or Elle Fanning. What would you say was best dressed from the Oscars, and what was your worst dressed, least favorite? I hope you enjoyed today's fashion edition. Be sure you're subscribed so you do not miss. Every Friday we put out a new fashion edition and bonus videos throughout the week. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a happy day ahead, and I will see you next time. Bye!